Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This is one of over 80 episodes released monthly for your enjoyment. Now, let's get into this episode.
Horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! Let's go, big fellow! Hi-yo, Silver! Hooray!
The Lone Ranger and Tonto rode through snow to the top of a hill and drew rein. In the white-blanketed valley, they saw a village of Cheyenne Indians. Smoke rose through the vents of over 100 wigwams. Children and dogs played in the snow, and horses were picketed within the enclosure. This was the village of Red Dog, the Cheyenne leader, with whom the federal government hoped to make a treaty of permanent and lasting peace.
How long Indians live here, Kimasabi?
They moved here very recently, Tonto. Red Dog and the other leaders are to meet and confer with Colonel Hargraves.
Red Dog makes plenty trouble for pioneers.
Well, he hates white people, and perhaps he's justified. The first ones who came here tricked him and robbed and exploited his people. He can be made to understand most pioneers are good people who want to be friendly.
Like Jim Bridge and his friends.
If Red Dog's people knew Bridge and his party, they'd change their opinion of pioneers.
Only a few horse in valley.
The Red Dog and his braves must have gone to the army camp for peace talks.
And gone since yesterday.
Yes, that's right, Tonto. They'd left since the snow quit falling last night, and you'd see their tracks.
Look, Kimasabi.
Yes?
2 men ride north from Indian village after snow stopped.
Colonel Hargraves is camped north of the village. Tonto, we'll ride north.
Not go east? See Jim Bridge in settlement?
We'll go there after we call on Colonel Hargraves. There's hope of a treaty with the Cheyennes. I'd like to take the news to Bridge. It'll make his people very happy. Come on.
Get him up.
Riding north along the crest of the range of hills, the Lone Ranger and Tonto paralleled the tracks of two horses in the valley. Later that day, Colonel Hargraves sat in his tent with a deep scowl on his face. He hated snow and cold, and most of all, he hated inaction. Contrary to the Lone Ranger's supposition, no peace talks were in progress at the Army camp, and there had been none.
Delay. It's enough to drive a soldier mad.
Yes, Colonel Hargraves.
How deep is the snow outside the camp area?
6 to 8 inches.
Weather forecast? It's colder than that. I'd orders to see that the horses are given plenty of oats and a thick layer of hay.
Yes, sir.
The horses will be kept close together on the picket line.
That's it.
And how did I thought we'd be finished with the peace negotiations by this time? They haven't even begun. I wonder if Red Dog was bluffing when he said he'd discuss a treaty.
Colonel Hargraves.
Who's that, Tin Flap?
Yes.
Let's try to keep some heat in this time. What do you want?
2 men wish to speak to you, sir.
The Indians who were here earlier?
No, sir. One of these is an Indian. The other's masked. He claims to be a friend of General Custer. He sends his cartridge by way of identification.
Yeah. Looks like silver.
Indians send a bundle of arrows as a declaration of war. It's a silver cartridge.
This will mean the Lone Ranger. Send him in.
Yes, sir.
You, Jenks, go to your tent and prepare my orders concerning the horses.
Yes, sir.
I heard Custer mention him, not once but many times.
Right in here, sir.
Thank you for seeing us, Colonel Hargraves.
Well, General Custer told me how you and Tonto helped him.
This is Tonto.
Oh, glad to know you. I wish you had influence with Red Dog and his followers. He moved here days ago on his promise to discuss a peace treaty.
We expected to find them here, Colonel. In fact, we thought they'd been here since yesterday.
Aye, Red Dog keeps postponing the discussion on one pretext after another. I suppose he's laughing up his sleeve at the way he keeps the United States Army waiting while he hunts and fishes.
Todd and I saw that most of the horses were gone from his village, so we thought the treaty talk had started.
2 messengers came here with word that Red Dog's men had gone hunting this morning to replenish the food supply.
This morning?
Yes.
Well, that's not true. Only 2 horses left that village since the snow stopped yesterday. They came here. We saw them returning over the back trail.
The Indians may have left on the hunt yesterday.
If so, they've traveled much farther than necessary. There's a lot of game in the valley, but we saw no tracks of hunters.
I wonder where they've gone and why they're stalling.
Colonel Hargraves, you came here with only about 30 men.
28. What of it?
Judging from the number of wigwams, I'd say Red Dog has over 100 braves. It would be quite a feather in his cap if he could conquer a detachment of troops. He may have decided to attack when he learned that you were outnumbered.
You'd be a feather in his cap. But his men have only bows and arrows. He'd hardly dare attack knowing we have rifles.
Yes, that's true.
If the Indians had rifles, I'd agree with you. That Red Dog might have changed his mind about discussing terms of the peace treaty.
I wonder if he's delaying the meeting in the hope of finding rifles and ammunition.
But where can he find them without coming here for them? Which he'll hardly dare to try.
Colonel, I had planned to visit a group of pioneers who have settled in the valley east of here. They have rifles and ammunition. They're not as well prepared as you against attack.
You think the Indians might have gone there?
Well, I'm going to find out. If we start at once, we'll reach the settlement by dark.
In that case, the Indians will be there. You'll be too late to help.
Red Dog has strange ways of fighting as well as strange ways of making peace. He'll wait and plan his moves before he makes the attack. Come, Tonto, let's go.
Due east from the army camp and northeast from the Indian village, Jim Bridge and his followers had found a valley where the grass was green and well-watered, and there was an ample supply of timber. Before the first snow, they had built crude temporary shacks, which would be replaced by houses after a protecting stockade was completed. Both men and women worked tirelessly on the stockade. They worked in spite of snow and cold. Near the end of the day, Jim Bridge paused in his work to light his pipe and saw the young wife of Sam Bailey standing at his side.
Well, Jane? Watching for Sam's wagon to come into view?
Yes, Jim. He said he'd be back from the railroad station in 10 days. This is the 10th day.
You're cutting it mighty fine on Sam.
He should be here.
Jane, you're not worried, are you?
I can't help but worry in this Indian country.
Well, don't you be too concerned if he's not back when he said. The snow will slow him down with that heavy wagon.
He took a strong team of the best horses.
He might lose his way in the snow.
Sam never loses his way.
Well, gone, Jane, you sure are hard to talk to. I never saw you so downright determined to worry.
I can't help it, Jim. I've been worried ever since Dan started out for supplies. I'll be mighty glad when he gets back.
Yeah, we'll all be glad, Jane. Those supplies will come in handy.
Here comes Sam's wagon.
Oh, he's coming.
Where? Where is he?
Over there out of the way. You see him? That's Sam's wagon.
I see it. Oh, thank heaven he's back.
Yeah, good for Sam. Look at those horses travel.
Jim, he must have had trouble. See how the canvas top of the wagon is torn? It's ripped to shreds. Maybe he had a fight with Indians.
Oh, but he's back. That's the main thing.
Yes.
Hi there, Sam. Welcome home. Hey, Jim. Notice the way he's sitting. Is there something wrong with him?
Jim, look at Sam. What's happened? Look at the arrows sticking from the wagon. Look at the reins. They're dangling free.
Pete, grab those reins.
Sam, what's happened to... Sam?
The ornery murdering redskins. Here, boy. Give me a hand with him.
Sam, where did it happen?
Now, wait, Jane. And out to the ground. Where's Doc?
Here I am, Jim.
Pete, you stand with Jane.
Right.
Jeff, go tell Ma Vincent to come over here. Jane needs her.
No, I'm all right. Just let me...
Jane? No, you.
No. No. You?
Must have been within sight of the stockade when you died. It must have been mighty weak. You see the way he braced himself on the seat. He put up a hard fight. There's at least 100 empty cartridge cases in the wagon.
Oh, no.
Oh, they're not, Jane. Sam's the first hero of our new town. He gave his life to bring these supplies to us.
Jim! Boy! Look to the west!
Two men coming.
One's an Indian.
Grab your rifle!
Hey, Jim, look! Arrows are coming from the gully over there. They're shooting at those two horsemen.
Now, hold on! Don't fire! Don't shoot those men!
One is made.
Sure he's masked. He's the man we met on the trail. He told us about this valley.
Everyone remembered the masked man who had aided the pioneers when they were searching for a place to make their homes. They watched as he and Tonto raced ahead of Indian arrows, and finally drew rein inside the unfinished stockade.
Howdy.
During the greetings, the masked man saw Sam Bailey lying on the ground. His eyes met those of the doctor, and he knew that Sam was dead. He spoke to Jim Bridge.
Indians?
Brought that wagon load of supplies from the railroad east of it. You came from the west.
Yes, that's right.
These redskins must be on both sides of it.
We saw about 50 of them. They spread out in a long line at the bottom of the gully. We came on them very suddenly. They were just as surprised as we were.
For that fact, you and Tonto owe your lives. Where did they come from?
I think they came from a valley southeast of here. They're supposed to be holding peace talks with Colonel Hargraves.
You didn't see any tracks to warn you they were there?
Indian maybe enter gully long way south. Then stay in gully so tracks not show on level ground.
What? Mighty sport. I don't know why those redskins should bother us. We never did anything to hurt them.
You have firearms and ammunition. That's what they want. They need weapons.
Oh.
They get them, they may attack Colonel Hargraves and the troopers who came into this wilderness to make a peace treaty.
They'll probably attack when they have us surrounded.
Sam Bailey found them on the east. Todd and I found them on the west. Jim, I think you're surrounded right now.
How soon do you think they'll attack?
Well, they'll probably send small skirmishing parties close enough to fire arrows. They'll keep that up for hours to where you are out of watching and waiting. They might keep it up all night and all day tomorrow. On the other hand, they might attack at any moment. Too bad you have unfinished gaps in your stockade.
We worked hard on it. We didn't waste time. Hey, how about piling cases and rocks and logs in those gaps? It'll be better than nothing.
Good idea.
We'll get started on that right away. Come on, boys. I pray we have time to plug the gap. Joe, drive Sam's team and wagon over to the stable. Right.
We're sure of one thing, Tonto.
What fact?
Red Dog asked for a meeting to discuss peace terms only to throw everyone off guard. He has no intention of making peace.
Kimasabi.
Yes.
Maybe soldiers come here if they know.
I'm going to try to bring them.
You mean you try to get back to the army camp?
Yes.
Well, you haven't a chance. You crossed the Indian line once because you took them by surprise. But now they'll be watching.
Without help, Jim, you'll all be massacred.
But it's suicide for you to leave.
And it's certain death to stay here.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue. Pioneers worked desperately against time, piling boxes and barrels filled with dirt and anything else that suited the purpose in the unfinished gaps in the stockade. Everyone knew that at any moment the Cheyennes surrounding the stockade might attack. The moon rose bright and full, providing light by which to work.
Here's more boxes and barrels.
Hey, all right. Hey, Pete, every so often we see a redskin look up over the edge of the gully.
I know, Jake. They're watching us.
I thought they'd make the attack before we'd have time to get barricades piled in the open places.
No telling where or how they'll make the attack.
Here, Doc. We're at the other end of this log. I have it. Hey, Pete, where's Jim Bridge?
He's with the Lone Ranger and Tonto.
He's still determined to try to bring help?
I think they're making plans right now.
We better get these unloaded.
In one corner of the stockade, the Lone Ranger and Tonto were talking to Jim Bridge.
Says you it's crazy to think you have a chance of getting past those Indians. Why, they'll open fire as soon as you leave the shelter of the stockade. Every one of them will have a chance to fire several arrows before you reach the gully. And if you lived across the gully, they'll have time to fire as many more before you're out of range.
Jim, you're just wasting time with argument. Otto and I are going to make a dash for it. We'll have a chance of success. You'll give me the things I need.
All right. What do you need?
2 of your strongest horses and a wagon with high sides.
All right. Anything else?
Well, have you any blasting powder?
I'll use it all up moving rocks.
Is there any fuse left?
Plenty of fuse.
Good. We'll use gunpowder.
For what?
I want to fill a tin can to make a bomb.
Sakes alive.
We'll move the wagon directly in front of the west gate to the back of the wagon, facing the Indians in the gully. We'll lash the front axle so the wagon will roll only in a straight line.
I begin to savvy. Let me get that powder and fuse. You'll find tin cans over there in the scrap.
Good.
The moon and snow made the area almost as bright as day, but several Indians, hugging the ground and covered by white canvas or bleached skins, were able to creep close enough to make their bows and arrows effective. Several men who exposed themselves at open places in the stockade were struck by silent arrows.
Doc, another one.
That's Jackson. I'll see what I can do for him.
The rest of you boys, be careful. When those redskins attack, we'll need every man who can fire a gun.
Those red dog critters are making sure we don't relax.
Hey, Pete, lend a hand.
What's Jim doing with the team?
I don't know, but I'll find out. We're going to hitch these horses to the high wagon. What's the idea, Jim? That's the Lone Ranger's idea. He wants the horses backward in the traces so they'll push instead of pull the wagon. We have to get her set right in front of the west gate. Why does he want the horses to push the wagon? He's going to head the wagon straight for the gully where the Indians are hit. The horses could be more easily shot down if they were ahead of the wagon. Oh, I savvy. I reckon the masked man figures to use the wagon as a barricade to get close to the Indians. He'll be right behind it. That's what he wants the Indians to think he's doing. You see, Pete, if the Indians figure that way, well, then they'll converge from both sides when they see the wagon coming. That should pull the Indians in toward the wagon. And the wagon is just a sort of a lure to bring the Indians away from the place where the Lone Ranger wants to cross the gully. That's the idea. Now let's get the team and wagon set.
In Jim's small shack, the Lone Ranger and Tonto worked by lantern light. They filled a tin can with gunpowder, then experimented with various lengths of fuse until they knew the proper timing.
This is the right length, Tonto. Put it into the powder, then we'll seal the can.
You think?
At last, the Lone Ranger and Tonto were ready. The big wagon was in position at the gate facing west. 2 strong horses were hitched to push instead of pull. Tonto held the improvised bomb.
All right, Jim.
Give the word when you want the gate open. You boys stand ready. We're ready.
Open the gate.
Swing her wide.
Get ready to light the fuse, Tonto.
You ready? Gate's nearly open.
Start the horses.
Come on now. Get going. Get along there. There she goes. Heading straight for the gully.
Now, Tonto, light the fuse.
Those Indians see the wagon coming.
Right now, they're probably rushing along the bottom of the gully from both sides to meet the wagon.
Fuse lighted now.
Then let's go. Come on, through there.
Out.
The masked man dashed toward the gully at a point south of where the Indians had converged to meet the oncoming wagon. He held a gun ready for any Indian who showed his head. Tonto was half a length behind, carrying the bomb with the fuse lighted. Some distance on the right, the wagon had reached the gully. Nearer, an Indian's head came into view. Suddenly, the masked man drew rein.
Hold over. Hold, easy. Now, Tonto, throw the bomb.
Tonto threw the bomb. Then there was a burst of flame and a geyser of snow from the gully ahead.
Come on, through there.
The nearest Indians in the gully were shaken by the explosion and blinded by the smoke and flying snow. Before they could use their bows and arrows, the Lone Ranger and Tonto were through the gap.
We're through, Tonto. We made it. Come on, through there.
Shouts and cheers rose from the stockade.
They made it! I tell you they made it! Now, boys, all of you listen. The Lone Ranger's on his way for help, which means we have a fighting chance. Let's make the most of it!
For a few moments, everyone talked about the thrilling and successful dash of the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Then the men went back to their task of improving their fortifications. Throughout the balance of the night, no one thought of sleep. Daybreak found everyone with drawn nerves and tired muscles. But there could be no letdown of vigilance. The Indians made sure of that.
A shot.
Steady, Jane.
That means another Indian managed to sneak close.
Not necessarily, Jane. The guards have reached a point where they fire at anything. Half the time, they only imagine they see something moving.
I almost wish the Indians would make the attack. Then it would be over. Just waiting.
The longer the Indians put off the attack, the more chance we have of having help.
The Lone Ranger might never reach the army camp.
Now, Jane.
He and Tonto might meet other Indians.
Jane, why don't you go into your cabin and try to get some rest?
Rest? How can anyone rest at a time like this? I have Sam's gun and I'll fight with the men.
All right, Jane. You go over and help Len Carson watch through his porthole.
Very well, Jim. As long as I can keep doing it.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Pete?
Bad news for you. I've been checking the guards to make sure none of them fell asleep at their post.
Well,
Loomis must have dozed. He's dead.
that's Ford dead. Where'd you find him?
On the ground beneath the porthole where he was stationed. An arrow must have come through the porthole.
Loomis didn't even see the redskin who shot him.
I got one!
Pete, have someone take Loomis's place.
Right.
The day dragged on, with cunningly timed flurries of peril to keep every person tense. By nightfall, nerves were strained to the breaking point, and in some cases beyond.
Open the gates. Ask him to come in. Let's get it over with. The head on a good stand.
Eddie!
I can't wait any longer. Let him...
Sorry to slap your face, Jake. Now calm down. Get a hold on yourself.
Finally, the sun rested on the western horizon and reflected off the snow in dazzling, blinding light. The guards on that side of the stockade found it impossible to look directly toward the glare. It was typical of Red Dog to do the unexpected. Whereas other Indians would have crept close under cover of darkness, Red Dog sent his men forward in the concealment of the light. They were within a few yards of the barricade before they were discovered.
Indians! They're coming! I see 3 of them! There's more over here! And here!
was room at portholes for only a limited number of men. Only a few could fire at one time, and shooting directly into the sunlight was ineffective.
Watch the center where the barrels are piled. They're coming at that with a battering ram.
A battering ram?
Got one of them.
A tree trunk, 6 inches in diameter and 20 feet in length, smashed against the piled-up boxes and barrels and sent them tumbling. The Indians stormed through the opening.
They're climbing over the other side.
Some of the savages were already inside the stockade. They fought with knives, tomahawks, and war clubs to keep the pioneers occupied, while Red Dog and the main body of Indians dashed from the gully. Red Dog's men were at the gates, ready to dash through as soon as the gates could be opened. But suddenly they heard gunfire from behind. Troopers riding hard poured withering gunfire into the ranks of the surprised savages. The gates were opened from within by the defenders.
Let them have it, boys. Give them all we got.
The Indians were trapped. Pioneers on one side, soldiers on the other. Their combined firepower offset the Indians' superiority in numbers. The Lone Ranger and Tonto seemed to be everywhere, firing until their guns were empty, then fighting with the weapons as clubs. The end came quickly, in the form of an overwhelming defeat for the followers of Red Dog. The Indians who survived were tightly bound. An army doctor examined the others, while Colonel Hargraves approached to speak to Jim Bridge.
Bridge, we'll clear the stockade before we leave.
Gosh, Colonel, we thought we were at the end of everything.
The end? No, Bridge, you and your people are simply at the beginning of everything. Beginning of a new nation.
Some of us are dead.
They died to hold this land. Their blood makes it sacred. Build this settlement, Bridge. Make it strong so no band of savages will try again to take it from you. If each man helps safeguard his own community, our nation will be the strongest and the greatest of nations. Because this is a nation made up of community.
Good word, Colonel Hargraves.
Didn't know you were behind that.
Todd and I are ready to leave.
I sure wish we had you living in our community.
Thanks, Jim. I'll be back. Where does the Treaty of Peace stand, Colonel?
Well, those battered survivors of Red Dog's outfit are the ones with whom the peace is to be made. They have surrendered unconditionally.
Many have families in the valley.
We propose to teach those families that their government is good, so their children will be our kind of people.
Tonto, let's spread that word.
Easy, Scott, easy, fella.
Goodbye, all of you.
Goodbye.
And thank you.
Tonto.
Oh, that man. If it hadn't have been for him, we'd all be dead.
Ridge, many have said that about the Lone Ranger.
This is a feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated, created by George W. Trendle, Produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated and directed by Charles D. Livingston. Tonight's drama was written by Fran Striker. The part of the Lone Ranger is played by Brace Beemer.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate this episode within your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. Become one of our ranch hands and unlock some exclusive content. We want to thank our most recent ranch hands, Steve and Ron W., who joined us recently. You too can join by going to OTRWesterns.com/donate. Send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com, and you can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyrighted under the attribution non-commercial share-alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.